Okay, so I have on the bench a ZF6HP26 valve body, and this is out of a 2004 BMW 745 Li. The car was towed to me or flatbedded to me from New Jersey. All right, so to give you a little background on why it's here, originally the owner of the car, I believe, had solenoid codes, so he dropped out the valve body and he put a brand new set of solenoids in, which I'll give you a close-up of all this stuff. After it was back together, I don't think he felt it was working correctly, so he dropped out the valve body again, and he wanted to change the separator plate, and he also put in, took the original dampers out, the rubber dampers, and exchanged it with the Sonics. I think I had showed you these before, the Sonics dampers with the spring, so it really can't get flattened out. You know, it just goes by the spring, and the rubber damper cannot get flattened out, so it'll always kind of stay up. And then after that, he put a separator plate in it, he put those Sonics dampers in it, and put the pan back up. Also, I'm going to show you, which is pretty cool, he has an aluminum bridge seal, which I honestly never saw before. I'm going to give you a close-up shot of that too, because as you know, the regular ones, you know, break all the time. We do plenty of those. So he puts it all back together, puts it up into the car, does the first fill, and the first fill is engine off. You fill it through the fill check plug until it runs out, you block it off, start it, and then you fill it again until it runs out. Well, it was not taking the second fill, so you start filling it and it's pouring right out. So of course there's not enough fluid in this thing. So when I got the car, scanned the car, it had a 4E89 code, which is SV1, SV2 mechanically jammed, which is solenoid valve 1, solenoid valve 2. Normally that points to a valve body issue. And it had that typical 507D code with the park lock. I'm not sure what the actual definition is, but you know, park lock, solenoid mechanically disengaged, something to that effect. So when I got out to the car, when I found it in the morning, I went to put the car in drive, jump back to park, put the car in reverse, jump back to park. Okay, so that can happen for a couple of reasons. As you know, those solenoids have to be released through hydraulic pressure. Okay, so you need pressure in the unit to release park. The solenoid gets gets turned on electrically, and then the hydraulic, it pushes it out of park, the fluid. So a couple of reasons why this won't come out of park. Number one could be a broken bridge seal. Okay, that is a very common problem that we see a lot of, and that may happen more when the car gets hot. And the other one is if it's low on fluid and there's not enough pressure to push it out of park, it's not going to go out of park. So low fluid is another problem. All right, in this case it was low fluid. So we get the car up in the air, drop the pan. I wanted to retrace the steps of what he did. Drop the pan out, drop the valve body out. I'm looking at all the solenoids. I take the computer off, the mechatronic off, and I'm just kind of looking around, and solenoids all look right, as far as how they're supposed to be installed. I double check the solenoid. This is the second design park lock solenoid, so it goes in two pieces. And I check the other solenoid because on the one here, when you take that solenoid out, you have the valve spring and kind of like, I don't know, maybe like a bushing or something that goes over it, and usually when you take it out, it flies out. You don't know which way it goes in. So I made sure all that was correct and all that was correct. Then with the valve body together, I'm looking around the valve body. I'm kind of just, seeing if I see anything out of the ordinary, and I saw something that did not look right. And that was the separator plate was kind of hanging off the valve body, not really doing anything. I've never seen that before. So I knew we were dealing with something within this valve body, and when I saw that, I'm thinking, okay, we probably have the wrong separator plate missing, and that's, I think, what's going on. So I took it all apart, and I called the customer, I asked him if he had the original plate, and he did, thank God. So looking at the code on the plate, I'll give you a close-up of this too, and we got a B047, and then when I took the valve body apart, or looked at the code on the valve body, I have a B052. So right there, we have the wrong separator plate. So we got to start with that, and I think once we get the right one in, which I have, a B047, we're going to put this back in the car, and I'm sure all is going to be well. It will come out apart. We should be able to drive this thing to see how it is shifted. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a close-up shot. I have this stuff out of the valve body, but let me give you a close-up shot of this stuff. We'll put the check walls and dampers and stuff back in. I want to hold the plates up to each other so you can kind of see what's going on there. And we're going to just talk about those MV2, MV3 solenoids again real quick. And I'll show you that aluminum bridge seal. All right, so let me get a little closer and we'll get started. Okay, so let's take a look at the separator plates. Again, you got your code here, B047 or even A047 is fine. Okay, and the plate that was in there is a B052. So we definitely 100%, here's A052, have the wrong plate. So this is the correct plate, this is the incorrect plate. So we're going to put these over each other. Okay, and right here, we got this extra. Okay, so here is the plate. So we have this extra right here. Also, we got a couple of holes here on the original plate for the MV solenoid, and we got nothing on this plate. So I don't know exactly, you know, to say. I'm thinking that maybe this plate could possibly be used on an M-shift valve body, and this is an E-shift valve body. All right, so when we hold them together, we got some holes blocked here. Okay, hole blocked here. See, it's totally not correct. All here is blocked off, and also, you know, we have that little extra up here. And I thought I saw something else, and even here is incorrect. Here it's kind of hanging over the plate. We got a bolt hole here, and I got nothing here. So this is definitely the wrong plate. And I was going through his trunk, I was getting this. I actually found a couple of valve body bolts that were laying in there, so I'm thinking because of the wrong plate, that's where that came from. So I got them laid out on the rag, and we're gonna put we're gonna put this whole thing back together. I wanted to show you this aluminum. I think this thing's pretty cool. It is aluminum with the rubber seals in here. These seals look okay. You know, here is an original one that breaks all the time, but this thing is pretty cool. Not sure where he got this. I'm sure it might have been maybe some kind of performance shop, but I think it was about $100 or $125 for this. But you know, it'll save you if you're working on this thing. You know, this thing is pretty cool. It'll certainly save in the long run if that bridge seal breaks. I had one of those bridge seals. We did one in an X5, and honestly, I think about 2 years, and it's brand new, OE stuff, and I think a couple years later, the thing broke again. But that's pretty cool, that bridge seal. Really never seen that. Okay, so here is the solenoid, now the Park solenoid, which is the MV solenoid. This updated one goes in 2 pieces. The old one, you know, you take this out here, you slide this bracket out here, which goes onto the linkage, and then you slide the old one out, will come out as 1 piece, and the new one is going to go in 2 pieces. And then you also have the MV solenoid here, also for Park. And if you take this solenoid out, be careful, because there is, you know, it kind of looks like this. It's maybe like a bushing, and the spring fits in here. So you just got to make sure, and then there's the like this bushing, then there's a spring, and then there's a valve. And then you got to be careful to make sure you put that back correctly. Okay, just give me 1 second, let me grab this phone. All right, so moving on. These are all right, so this is your typical damper with the rubber piece in it. And these are the ones that Sonic sells with the spring. So again, the rubber it eliminates the rubber damper, and of course it can never get crushed. So the spring is going to go in first, and then the damper will go in. They're all the same. Okay, this has 6, so this would make this a generation 1. So just remember to look at the code on that plate, but you can see the code even before the valve body comes apart. You know, either that A047 or that B047. That's what they may be looking for. Get the spring centered, and there we go. All right, so I'm going to put these check balls and springs and filters back, and then I'll give you a shot of the locations. And again, locations do vary, so you definitely want to be careful when you're taking these out. Everything was marked, flat sanded. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. All right, so let me give you a close-up shot of this, and then I got to continue to put this together because we are pretty packed here, and I got to get going to try to stay caught up. So here is my new plate, my new B047 plate. And I'm going to get both of these back. All right, so all these up side by side, and everything looks good. Nope, sorry, give me 1 second again. Okay, sorry about that. Phones do not stop, and it's after 6. All right, so we got our new plate we're going to put on, and this is the original one. So I think we're going to be in good shape there with taking the oil in. All right, so this will set. Actually, what I want to do, I just want to make sure everything looks okay here. All right, what I want to do, which I did not do yet, I just want to make sure that all these valves are free in both sections of the valve body, but this looks good. Yes. Okay. Over here, everything looks good. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting this together. So 2004 BMW 745 Li. The problem was it was not taking the second fill of oil, meaning you fill it until it runs out. First fill, second fill, with the car running, you fill it again until it runs out. All right, I had a couple of codes, 4E89 and that 507D, and it absolutely was not taking the oil in. So we found the wrong separator plate. Okay, again, go by these numbers. Okay, you can even see the number. It kind of sticks out over here, I think, in one of the areas where you can actually see it without taking the valve body apart. Okay, but I would definitely go by that number. I'm not sure if he went by year, make, and model. I'm not sure how he came up, honestly, with the wrong plate, unless, I'm not really sure, but I'm thinking that's an M shift. Maybe they thought it was an M shift valve body. All right, so we're gonna put the right plate back. I got my Lifeguard 6 fluid coming. He already changed the pan. We got brand new bolts here for the pan. So we're gonna put that back. We're gonna put the aluminum bridge seal back. And we're gonna fill it up, reset shift adapt once again, and take it for a ride. So that's about it. I thank you guys for watching. I just wanted to share this information with you. Just be careful on these plates. And have a great day.